Okay, let's change. So now we're going to talk about this Annabelle doll and the very sad death of a psychic investigator because of it. Let me just change over the pictures on here. Yeah, this is a very strange story. Now, if like me, I do like a good ghost story. In the members, we talked about that Telly Savalas ghost story and another one as well. I do like a good ghost story. I'm a half believer in things even like this. Dolls, of course, are totally creepy, aren't they? I mean, I don't mean Cindy's and Barbies and Tresses. I mean, the old Victorian dolls and things like that. And then, of course, ventriloquist dolls and, the Chucky films and things like that have made us associate dolls with, creepy things. But this one, especially the Annabelle doll, it just looks totally creepy, doesn't it? Let's have a look I'll just tell you a little bit about the history of the Annabelle doll. Now, a lot of people think they are possessed, and, I don't know. I don't believe it or not believe it. I literally don't have a view on it, if you like. It could be true. There's lots of what I noticed when I went on, when you research about this, there's loads of social media videos about it, articles about it. Let's have a look at some of the stories about the Annabelle doll itself. It does look completely creepy, doesn't it? I wouldn't want it in my house, would you? Really, would you put that in your house? Have that in the corner of your bedroom? No, thank you. No, thank you. But some people, I say I'm intrigued by these things, but I don't want one. I don't want one in my house. God, I couldn't sleep with that in my house, that's for sure. So let's have a look at what we can learn about the Annabelle doll. Can dolls really be haunted? So you've got all these stories, like the one we're going to talk about is this paranormal investigator who's died while on tour, doing a tour of the Annabelle doll, with the Annabelle doll, actually touring with it. And he's died of mysterious circumstances. So that's the main thing we're going to look at. But yeah, the real Annabelle doll, let's just have a look. What's that? The real Annabelle doll comes to SA, San Antonio. And I think this is the guy here. Let's have a look at this, actually. I just like it. So, yeah, Jose Riviera. I think that's him, isn't it? Let's have a look.
Is Dan Rivera from the New England
Dan Rivera, yeah.
Search, and Ryan Buell from the show Paranormal State. Okay, guys, the true story of where Annabelle came from is similar to what we see in the Conjuring movie, right?
Absolutely. The makers of the Conjuring movie did the doll, the backstory of Annabelle, justice, where it was two nurses who were experiencing a haunting. They brought in a psychic, thought it was a little girl. They invited her to stay. They got her a doll, Raggedy Ann.
Now, I've not seen the Conjuring films. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to see if I can find them maybe on Netflix or on YouTube. Have you seen them? Have you seen the Conjuring films? They're apparently all about this Annabelle doll. And you can see they're smiling. They're talking about it like it's serious in one way, but they're smiling. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, isn't it? But that poor guy, he's dead. He's touring with this doll and he's dead. I think it's so creepy because, as you can see, he's not an old man. He's not an old man, is he? It could be just a coincidence, but I don't know. What do you think?
And doll as like a gift, and then it wreaked havoc.
And that's one thing that's different from the doll we see in the movie, right?
Yeah, it's different because, the Raggedy Ann doll is copyrighted. So when Warner Brothers went to Mattel and said, "Hey, can we use your doll for a horror movie?" They were like, "No."
Yes. Okay. So are we safe here with the doll?
As safe as one can be, right? I mean, we are taking precautions.
So they've put a tarot card up there, the devil tarot card. I mean, just asking for trouble, really, aren't you? You know, and funnily enough, actually, in tarot, the devil normally means like being, you can't move on from things. You know, you're trapped, enslaved, or that kind of thing. I mean, honestly, I'd be glad when I finish this video actually about this doll, because just looking at that doll now gives me the absolute heebie-jeebies.
Okay, the case is blessed. Everything about it is intentional. We have a Roman Catholic priest that's been traveling with us and will be present at all times. And as long as no one does anything stupid or provokes, you know, everyone should be fine. We're here on standby too, with holy water, holy oil. I mean, we take this very seriously.
I mean, you even have holy water for us before we leave, right? And I'm all about that. And I think everybody over here is nodding as well. Okay, so is it true that the doll has been caught moving on camera?
I can't speak to that per se, but people have had a lot of
Moving on camera, and that doll sat there with its legs open like it's man. It's just so freaky. Who's made that doll? Just horrible. Look, are we safe? Well, he's not safe, is he?
experiences with the doll. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Okay. And Dan, you have a story too, right?
Yeah, the first time when I built this case and moved Annabelle into it, we had an event that evening. When we were returning her back to the museum, there was a St. Michael pendant on that case on the lock. And once we entered into the museum, that pendant flew off the case and flew across the room. I thought that was very strange, but it caught me off guard.
Yeah, it was very strange, Dan. You know, I mean, how old? I think he's maybe in his 50s, is he? Maybe at the most. So I'll have a look in a minute. So I don't think there's been an autopsy yet. I don't know, but I'm going to have a look in a minute. In fact, I'll probably have a look while I play.
That was Annabelle saying I didn't want to be in that case.
Oh.
Okay. And of course, as you mentioned, it is blessed on the regular by a priest, right? That also travels with the doll. Is it true that the doll once caused a fatal motorcycle accident after someone mocked her?
Yes, there was a gentleman that came into the museum when Ed was giving the tours, and he came in and he knocked on the glass and says, "If you're real, put scratches on me." Ed saw that and told the gentleman, you have to leave the museum, and you don't do that. I told you not to do that. The gentleman and his girlfriend went on.
Oh, what? He went up to the doll and said, "If you're real, put scratches on me," like tempting fate.
Off on the motorcycle back to where they came from, and they never made it home. They got into a motorcycle accident, and the gentleman perished, and the girlfriend survived.
Wow. Okay. Is it true that the Annabelle doll once wrote notes saying, "Help me"?
Yes, on parchment paper. So when the nurses had the doll, when they would come home from work, they will see these pieces of parchment paper written in crayon saying "Help me" on it. So that's when the activity started happening in the house. And they had to call the warrant. Well, actually, they called the priest first, and then the priest says, "Well, I don't know much about this. I know somebody that is involved with these haunted objects," and they gave them the information of Ed and Lorraine Warren to come in and help them with that case.
Okay. Okay. And so this venue can really get a lot of people in the spirit of things at the event, Spiritfest, happening this weekend, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're into the paranormal, if you're curious about the paranormal, the Psychic Fest is a great place to come. And the Black Swan Inn is actually very haunted itself. Very active. I've investigated had almost a dozen times already.
What are some things that folks can look forward to at this event?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things, aside from the fact that we have psychics, vendors.
I mean, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? You know, if you're interested in the paranormal, which I am, I'd love to go on ghost hunts and stuff like that. I wouldn't like to get involved in any spooky doll things or whatever, and I would be very respectful towards this doll. So what that guy said to it, like, "If you're real, put scratches on me," I would never say anything like that. And it makes you wonder if there is something in it, which Dan Rivera believes there's something in it because he's doing the tour with it. Maybe the doll didn't like being just lugged around. Maybe this spirit, not the doll, but the spirit, whatever is in the doll, if there is anything, just didn't like being lugged around from place to place. Maybe he made an off-the-cuff comment one day as he was walking past it. I mean, you just don't know. Anyway, we're going to have a look in a minute what he's supposed to have died of. I don't think they know for certain yet.
Speakers. It's very diverse. You get to meet the community around South Texas that is into the paranormal, that researches the paranormal. And then, of course, if you have experiences, have had an experience, there can be some judgment there, right? Out in the outside world. But here at this event, you're around like-minded people, right? We're not here to judge. We're very open to this.
Now, pre-sale tickets are sold out, but there is still a chance for folks to be able to get in, right?
The Curious Twins are offering 100 tickets at the door, first come, first serve. So get here early.
Okay, and it's even been, Sunday has even been added, right, for just seeing Annabelle, right?
Yeah, we know that the demand to see Annabelle is so high because this is the furthest she's ever come. So we did add Sunday. Again, that has pre-sales have sold out, but there are going to be 100 tickets at the gate.
Okay. Anything else people need to know if they come out to Psychic and Spiritfest, and if they do, go face to face with Annabelle?
So we just say, be respectful. Do not provoke. We take this very seriously.
Do not provoke.
Right? So as long as you show respect, Annabelle will give you respect.
And please do not touch anything.
Don't worry, we're not. We're not. Okay, so don't forget, Psychic and Spirit Fest 2025 is happening tomorrow from 4 to 11 p.m. at Victoria's Black Swan Inn, and Sunday 11 to 3 p.m. just for the Warren Occult Museum.
So here's some pictures of Dan, all different pictures of Dan. I can't say I'd ever heard of him before, but obviously he was quite famous. And yeah, it is the Nora Batty pose, David, isn't it? She sat there with her legs wide open. Oh, God. Now, she's obviously because that's a slightly different pose to this pose. So she's obviously been touched. The poses are slightly different. So maybe she didn't like him going in and, oh my God, there's a massive wasp flying around me. Oh my God. Anyway, it's gone off in the kitchen now, thank God. Massive. Oh God, there's loads of insects at the moment because of the heat. So yeah. Right, let's have a look at another video about it that I wanted to look at. And turn that one off. I'm trying to put some of these windows down. Oh, where's it gone? Anyway. Let's have a look at this. Police share findings into the Annabelle doll handler. So he's her handler. He's the person who's been handling her. It's his doll, or he's been handling her. Here's what police found at the scene. Let's have a look at this video.
Annabelle doll expert Dan Rivera, who died at 54 years old on July 13th while touring cross-country with the
So what, 54 years old?
horror relic. Pennsylvania police sharing a report on X July 16th saying Dan was discovered by co-workers in his hotel room. USA Today previously reported he was being given CPR when first responders arrived. The report now noting nothing unusual or suspicious was observed at the scene, as law enforcement awaits results from Dan's autopsy, with no cause of death details being shared, but the reports listed natural causes for now. Dan was a longtime member of the New England Society of Psychic Research, which held a viewing of the Annabelle doll hosted by Dan one day before he died. Now the organization saying in a statement, their tour with the supposedly haunted Raggedy Ann doll will carry on.
Oh.
Quote, We believe with all our hearts that Dan would have wanted the work to.
Oh my God, they're carrying on the tour. Now, probably Dan did die of a heart attack or something like that. Plenty of men in their 50s or women in their 50s that, die of heart attacks all the time. And if he wasn't touring with a haunted doll, nobody would have really thought anything of it. That's the time when people do get heart disease, etc. And sometimes stress can cause it, or heat. Of course, that's why they tell people in this terrible heat, to just not go out too much and not make too much effort, because if you've got any kind of heart problem, it's going to be worse in the heat. And it may be that whether Dan had been touring with that doll or not, he may still have died, but it just seems a bit weird to me. And he believed in it. He was the one that was telling people to be respectful, etc. So, it's he believed in it, didn't he? He believed in the Annabelle doll. So it just makes you wonder, maybe she was sick of touring. Maybe she'd had enough. Maybe she thought, I'm sick of this. Everybody keep looking at me and what have you. I mean, it all comes down to whether you believe in these kind of things or not. And he did believe in them, of course. But the police are saying no suspicious circumstances. Don't know.
Continue. The group was founded by legendary demonologist Lorraine and Ed Warren, whose work inspired the Conjuring horror franchise, including their haunted history with Annabelle, whom the pair once said was demonically possessed.
Oh my God. This is what I mean, these dolls. I could have nightmares about that.
Beyond terrified. We don't know what's going on or what to do. Can you help us?
Yes, we can. Firstly, there's no such thing as Annabelle, and there never was.
Ghosts don't possess such power. I think what we have here is something extremely manipulative. It's something inhuman.
This summer.
So, yeah, I mean, he believed in it. He believed in it. And now, unfortunately, he's deceased. And as I say, we have to wait and see if anything else comes out. But let me just see any other news. Just seems a bit, I mean, of course, it's news all over the world. It's in the Spanish news. It's all over, it's news everywhere because he was quite famous. And he was famous for touring with this doll. And he's just died mysteriously. Just suddenly, mysteriously, in his hotel room while he's touring with the Annabelle doll. So I think it all just comes down to, what you believe in. And Dan believed in it. So it makes you wonder, did he disrespect the doll? Is it some sort of curse from the doll? Or is it just a horrible coincidence? Because coincidences happen, don't they? So, very scary. So, yeah, now it would, what Alana's saying, it's true, damage control because the death will drop ticket sales. Well, it could go two ways, couldn't it? Because some people will be more likely to go now because of this, won't they? Some people, it will add to the sort of, the mystery of this doll and make people more, because some people just like that guy, the motorcyclist who said, oh, if you're real, give me some scratches, and then died in a motorbike accident. I wouldn't even want to put that to the test. But some people do like doing that, don't they? They like to go and challenge things. So I'm sure there'll be more people in one way wanting to go because of the doll, this happening to Dan. And then, of course, there'll be a load of people who maybe were going to see the doll and now don't want to go because they're bloody terrified. There'll be a mixture probably.